Peace, love, and blessing, family. Today we got a question of the day. How did Daniel get into the lion's den, y'all? So we finna break this down. We're gonna start at Daniel 2. And it say, in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams wherewith his spirit was troubled and his sleep break from him. Right, so now we're finna skip down to 3. Daniel 2 and 3. It say, and the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, my spirit was troubled to know them. So the verse before, it say the king commanded to call the magicians, the astrologers, the sorcerers, and the Chaldeans to show the king his dream. So he calling people, they not getting revelation from God, they getting revelation from darkness, right? So he calling astrologers, scientists, stuff like that. And watch this. He said, tell your servants the dream and we will show the interpretation. He said, if you will not make known unto me the dream with the interpretation thereof, you shall be cut in pieces and your houses shall be made in dunghill. So he said, I'm going to kill you, right? He said, I'm going to kill you and destroy your destroy your house if you don't explain to me what my dream is. That's how bad it was, right? This a king, right? At that time, if you speak down on the king, you get killed, like, immediately, right? If you don't do what he say, you get killed immediately, right? So he really wanted to know. He said his spirit troubled him. Right, so this was a problem that only God could fix, right? That only God could fix, mind you that. But look who he called on: magicians, astrologers, sorcerers, right? That's who he called on, and they can't do it. I'm gonna spoil it for you. They couldn't do it, right? So now we finna skip down to Daniel 2 and 45. It say, great God have made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof is sure. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshiped Daniel. He did what? He fell upon his face and worshiped Daniel. Right? So Jesus was not the only one getting worship. In Genesis, it even tell us to let people worship and praise us, but we giving glory right back to God. So we just being used as a vessel, right? Which Daniel was too. Daniel interpreted his dream for him. Couldn't nobody else do it but Daniel. Why? Because Daniel worshiped the true living God. Daniel worshiped the only living God, the true living God. Amen. And so it say, then King Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshiped Daniel and commanded that they should offer an oblation and sweet odors unto him. So they gave Daniel gifts. The king answered unto Daniel and said, of a truth it is that your God, so he said your God, that means they do not worship the same God. He said your God is a God of gods and the Lord of kings and the revealer of secrets, seeing you could reveal this secret. So Daniel interpreted his dream for him. Daniel had his own dreams on himself, but see, Daniel, he had powers to interpret dreams. Some dreams I had, I did not understand them at all. I did not understand them at all. But see, Daniel, he know how to interpret dreams, and they say his spirit troubled him. You ever had a dream and it slipped away from you? You said, dang, I can't remember, or dang, I don't understand what that meant, right? Daniel was being used by God to interpret it to the king, and he ended up saving his life and ended up living a better life, right? It's in 2 and 48, then the king made Daniel a great man. So that means he made him rich, right? And gave him many great gifts and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon and the chief of the governors of all the wise men of Babylon. So he put Daniel over everybody just for that good work, just for that miracle that he did, right? In Proverbs 3, it say, God said, if you keep my commandments, he said, if you do what I say, he said, you're going to get respect from God and man. When Jesus turned water into wine, they said, this the good kind. They said, this some good wine. They respected him and God respected him, right? For doing what he said, right? But it ain't that he made wine. He did it because his mama asked, like I said, right? So now we finna skip to chapter 6, and we're gonna start at 3. It say, then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes because an excellent spirit was in him. What spirit? The spirit of Christ, spirit of God. And the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel. So they was hating on Daniel because the king of Babylon put him over them, just off his spirit, just off his character, just off him being a good person, right? Being a child of God, right? It say, then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel. These the same thing the Pharisees did against Christ. They tried to find ways that they could discredit him. You know what I'm saying? Same type of people that be in the comments trying to get the top comment. They trying to find a way to discredit you, child of God. So it say, sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault. So they couldn't even find no fault in him. Why? Because he doing what God said. He walking in righteousness, right? For as much he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of God. Now let's skip down to 12. Say, then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Have you not signed a decree that every man shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, this thing is true according to the law of Medes and Persians, which alter not. Right? Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah. Daniel was from the tribe of Judah. That's the same tribe as Jesus. That's the same tribe as Solomon, Hezekiah, Josiah, and also King David. So they really snitching on him. They going out their way to try to discredit him. They going out their way. They ain't have to do all this, right? Verse 14, then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. And then let's get down to 16. It say, then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, your God whom you serve continually, he will deliver you. Right? So they put him in the lion's den. They said your God will deliver you from this. Right? Right? So Daniel just did nothing but good to these people, right? And then what did he get in return? He got hate. He got hate. He did nothing but good unto these people, and then he got hate back, y'all. So y'all just got to know that as a child of God. Look what happened to Christ. Everybody saying that everybody loved Christ. No, they didn't. Why did they do him like that? Why did they rip his beard off and spit on him and tell him to save himself? Right? Whipped him 30 times. 39 times, my bad. Whipped him 39 times, poured vinegar on him. Right? And then killed him. And then put him on the cross. Come on now. You know, but like I said, at first, when he did something for him, they was like, oh yeah, he said God of gods, he said Lord of kings, right? That's why Jesus don't care about y'all calling him Lord. That's why Jesus don't care about a lip service. He don't care about you flattering him, because at the end of the day, they action showed different. They over there plotting on him, and he just did good for them because they mad that he was exalted. Right? He did not exalt himself. He exalted God and got exalted in return. The same thing Christ did. Christ wasn't walking around with 3 or 5 chains on, you know, flexing the watch, you know, having multiple women. Jesus wasn't doing none of that. Jesus was living his life solely for the Father, right? But yeah, man, that's why Daniel got cast into the lions then, man. They were just hating on him, man. They were just hating on him.